We are back. I know it's been a while. I know y'all have missed us. It's okay. Don't be too mad at us. But the boys is back.
The boys
man.
are back now. Okay,
Absolutely.
I help myself. I had to do that one.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we're going to give them a little something. Absolutely. Cloth Talk is back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what y'all thought this was going to be. We definitely came here to fuck shit up. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 moment. It's been so long. Now I got stuff everywhere. I'm going to let these guys take over the camera real quick for a second. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Look, they're over here getting it in right now. Hey. Yes, sir.
Now, Keys knows I always go last, so you better go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, it's your boy Philly Keys, man. You know, that 1-0 Philly Eagles, you know.
So, I'll go ahead and go.
Oh,
okay. He's still going. That's a delay. My bad. Go ahead. Get it all. Oh, yeah. Hey, I see you.
the 1-0 Eagles, man. Only team that went in the division. Shout out to that.
Whoever's in the production truck, I need you to shut his camera off. I need you to shut his camera off expeditiously. Whoever's in the production truck,
right.
I need you to shut his camera off.
All right, Max.
Yeah. He talking about me? Shit, because I got the shorts on. I'm chilling.
No, I was talking about Keys. He need to shut somebody need to shut his camera off for putting that mess in front of the camera. We're going to lose viewers.
First off, you know what? I got you. I got you. Matter of fact, I'm going to let y'all take this real quick. I got you. This I can introduce myself.
Shad Kellerman.
Hey. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the King, Shad P, back in the building, Cloth talking it up with my guys. And no team can beat us. We pump diesel. And I'm not talking about jeans and sneakers.
And I don't know where Prophet is. He'll be back.
Oh, I'm right here, bro. What you mean? You had to throw this off the cap. You know what I'm saying? I had to put the cap on.
Shut Prophet's mic and his video off. Shut it down.
Cap.
Who's in the production truck?
Cap.
Whoever's in the production truck, shut it off. Shut it off.
Absolutely not. We got all types of things popping off, but as you know, football is back. We in the building. We hype. Let me get all my stuff, man. We've been out of session for so long. I didn't got my studio all messed up. But you know what I'm saying? We back. I'm ready to talk some shit, fellas. What y'all think, man? What y'all thinking, man?
Without further ado, let's get right to it.
Let's get to it, man. There's been some interesting games that popped off this week. First week of football popped off. As you know, I'm a happy man. Philadelphia's at the top of the NFC East. Sorry if I hit the mic. My man didn't dress for his own team's funeral. I'm with the shits.
Black and blue, a lovely combination because the Giants are dead to me, at least until tomorrow night.
Until tomorrow night. Yeah, these high hopes you got are hilarious. You know what I have to say to that? Hold on, right here.
I mean, they are playing.
We got it.
I don't know if you caught it, Keys, but let me run that back.
Can't have you hanging with Choose Boy.
I can't have you hanging with Choose Boy, all right?
Jason Garrett is about to be hanging with Choose Boy. That's how I feel right now. That's who need to be with Choose Boy in the seat.
Man, but
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get to all of that. Let's talk about that Monday night game. I mean, the Thursday night game. I'm sorry. Had some good money on that game on Dallas. I actually had Dallas pulling off the upset, which would have happened if their kicker had 2 opposing feet instead of 2 left feet. Shall we talk about it? How do y'all feel about Dallas coming out the gate, man?
All right, if we're gonna go ahead and keep it a buck about Dallas, they look good.
They did.
They look good.
They
They
fucked the game up. I mean, other
Right.
than that, they look great.
because if Greg Zuerlein does what he's supposed to do, we would be talking about this in a different fashion.
If he does what he's supposed to do at least once.
It's hard for me to sympathize myself with somebody who doesn't do much in practice, but play putt and does things that has to go get water and stuff like that. Zuerlein chilling during practice. He'll have a real job Monday through whenever. He don't do walkthroughs like they supposed to do. So he should have made the kicks that he needed to make. Dak looked outstanding. Dak was better than advertised. But better than advertised. 403 is not nothing to sneeze at from what he came back from. I think, Zeke was the one who's on the back of a milk carton right now. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know where he was or what he did.
I think that's by design. I have to butt in right here because you said Dak looked better than advertised. I disagree. I believe Dak was better dressed than he was put together. They put him in a many of situations where he had to throw the ball, but if you look, he cannot throw the deep ball like he's supposed to. And
now, you don't think that he needed to be buttoned up for game one? I think he needed to be buttoned up.
I think, if anything, what they tried to do is they tried to prove that, one, it wasn't a mistake giving him the money for the contract. I believe that, two, they tried to show, okay, we know they got a tough run defense. Let's beat them through the air. The narrative of Dak beating Brady with his arm would have been better than Brady losing to Zeke, right? Especially after your boy got paid. Like I said, he was very protected. He didn't really get hit too much, which is good. That's where I was impressed, was with the offensive line keeping him upright and in the pocket. He didn't have to use his legs a lot. To that credit, what you said with Zeke, I agree he was missing, but I believe that's at fault of the coaching, and I believe if they utilized him in the game a little bit more, it may have opened up more opportunities for Dak where they wouldn't have to rely on their kicker being their saving grace.
But it's what you said, though. It was by design, and we had to create a narrative on opening night.
Well,
the Dak comeback, if he had 403 yards and they won, we would never hit the end of it. We'd be still talking about this right now. And we're going into week 2.
You know what they say, Cap? It's about the presentation. And the thing about presentation, hold on.
Without the presentation, there's no... Hey, Dave, what's the popular term these days? Cheddar.
Yes. There's no cheddar if there's no presentation.
If you're a long time listener to the show, you can understand our appreciation for this film. So I will continue to use sound bites. If you do not, put something in the chat and we will further explain later.
We will, but until then, George.
If you're looking at like, and I hate, we're all NFC East, teammates here, and we all equally hate Dallas. But when you're looking at the long run of the whole season, and you look at how everybody played this weekend, between them and us, I mean, they may have lost, but they still, in my opinion, they still look great. We look great and we won. I still got us and them 1-2 finishing the season. And that's kind of how I had it before the season started anyway. So they didn't do anything to me. There wasn't anything that I looked at with Dallas and I was like, I'm not worried about them. They actually look a little bit, even though they lost, to me they still look a little scarier than they did last year.
They look good. I'm not going to take that away from them, but they're hiding something. When I say that, I think Dak's shoulder injury is a little bit worse than what they led on to believe. What'd you say, Keys?
DeMarcus Lawrence breaking his foot today.
Yeah, that's bad news. That's bad news all the way around.
Especially for that defense. He's the defensive captain, so.
And their defense already sucked. So it's just, you know.
I don't even know who's behind him.
What's worse than suck? Because that's what they are without him. So whatever worse than suck is.
I was about to throw a low blow and say the Giants. I'm going to stop. So.
I thought we were better than this.
That's exactly what they said when they drafted Daniel Jones. I promise you.
I have plenty to say about that. Because we talking. Because I want people to know this is an NFC East show, and this is what we dissect. And you better know it that I'm finna dissect my boys. But
you know what, Cap? That movie that you mentioned has a lot of great quotables, and one of my favorites.
Let me be clear with you. We don't play around with the NFL. It's their America.
Exactly what it is. Okay, the NFL. It's their America, all right, and a way to prove that, for you. Yo, did you see those games this week? Did y'all see the games this week? First off, the Thursday night game was great for a season opener. Let's talk about Tampa Bay first. As great as they are on offense, their defense is Twinkie soft.
Ooh,
the better question then is what happened from February to September.
Super Bowl
they
hangover.
Returned everybody.
Super Bowl hangover in age. Their team was already old. And I think that that's the danger of retaining and not, adding to or subtracting from. Right. You run the risk of that fatigue. And the best example I can give you of that is the Patriots without Brady. That fatigue, they had to rebuild a whole team because they retained on to so much of that nucleus for so long. In my book, they were always the Spurs of the NFL. You know what I'm saying? With a bad stigma. They were the oldest team. Maybe next to them, you could say would be Pittsburgh, maybe. But
and they were still boring. And they were boring,
right.
But they won. So.
Exactly. But I don't know if that works everywhere, and I don't know if that works for every player.
Here,
like I said, their offense looks dynamic, but their defense needs youth.
John Gruden, a couple of nights back, is the reason why Bill Belichick is the GOAT and why that system can work with the right guy at the helm. Bill Belichick will always be Gruden because he outthinks himself. And he almost lost himself the game on Monday night, in my opinion. I don't think the Raiders honestly should have won that game, but the Ravens, of course, ultimately outsmarted themselves.
That was a fantastic game.
When you can compare Belichick, to like Popovich, like you said with the Spurs, where you got that character who just knows how to win and knows how to create a winning culture that's going to be there. I don't think Bruce Arians is a create a winning culture guy. I think he just happened to get Tom Brady to fall in his lap, and he became more successful than what he is.
Don't fix it.
Right. What difference is him and Doug Peterson other than he has a more polished offensive coordinator resume? So, I love Bruce Arians. Don't get me wrong. I like the woke coach idea. I like that. But at the end of the day, he is who he is. And I honestly do not think they're going to repeat. But I will say this. I don't think their defense looked that bad. I think they just had bad spots for the most part because they should have washed Dallas up.
Like I said, the middle of their, just to be specific, it's their defensive backfield that looks soft. Their front looks just as dominant as it's always been, but their secondary was getting thrown on left and right. And can you imagine a healthy quarterback? I'm going to take my bias out of it. Take Jalen Hurts out of it. Put Russell Wilson in there. Is that the same defense that's going to keep Pat Mahomes from scoring? I didn't see that, especially with the way that he carved up. Who were they playing?
Cleveland.
Hold on. No, it wasn't Cleveland. Hold on. It was week 1. It was Cleveland. It was
Yeah, it
Cleveland.
was Cleveland. Now, here's the thing with that. When you're thinking about putting anybody there, there's a reason why Tampa beat Kansas City. And you're right, it had nothing to do with the secondary. However, it's because Pat Mahomes had to spend 60 minutes running for his life.
It was a defensive front in their offensive line. They had the Mac to their cheese. It was a good combination of defense to all bad offensive line.
It was showing that you can't create. Pat Holmes is great, but you can't create a makeshift offensive line and expect them to win it all. Their offensive line was not good. It just wasn't, and they tweaked it. You know what? That was the first two things that they addressed, was making sure that they shored up the offensive line, and then it showed on Sunday. Granted, it was standard, special what Kansas City does as far as making a comeback from a double-digit deficit, but they shored up the offensive line. In my eyes, when just reverting back to Tampa, will they repeat? No. Will they look good trying to repeat?
Absolutely.
They will absolutely. They will. I have them at 14. They're gonna
give a good show. They're gonna have a good season. Their fans are gonna be happy because they got a ring last year, so they're not really pressed. They would like to get that repeat success, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Because I think it's because it's not a big sports town to begin with, so it does. So not repeating is totally okay. You're an Eagles fan, and I'm very certain that you still wanted to repeat in 2019. I'm almost certain of that. I'm almost certain of it.
I absolutely wanted to.
I know. Definitely wanted them to repeat.
You said Kansas City?
The Kansas City fans, I know, definitely.
I believe Kansas City wanted to repeat. Tampa, if they don't repeat, it's not going to matter.
Sorry,
Well, and not only that, but it's different when you got Tom Brady and you get the Super Bowl because you're supposed to. It's Tom Brady. You get what you pay for. But let's say if you're a Carson Wentz and you get injured and you win the Super Bowl with a Nick Foles and you had the pieces that stayed healthy throughout the season to do it, and you don't lose anybody, the next year you damn sure are expecting to make a run for your money, especially if you beat Tom Brady. The circumstances are different. The weight of the ring is different in that case.
And you guys can, of course, keep me honest as you guys are both Eagles fans. Didn't you guys lose people almost immediately? You guys lost people. And I thought, key players, if I'm
going to tell you, well, it was key. It wasn't really key players. For me, it was the staff. The people that we lost that I felt we should have kept were LeGarrette Blount. But it was okay because we had Jordan Howard.
Well, yeah.
And if we would have utilized, because think about it, a lot of the people we got now are some of the same people. Our offensive and defensive line is the same from the Super Bowl year. What we needed was wide receivers. What we needed was linebackers. What we needed was safeties. And instead of doing that, they kept adding on to something that was already good and bringing back old pieces. We were the example a little bit of what I was saying before, bringing back Jason Peters, bringing back Darren Sproles. As good as these people were in their prime, we didn't know when to let go of that shit. And so,
bodyguard.
Facts. Right. So, because of that, we suffered. And then when Josh McDaniels made the boneheaded move to tell Indianapolis, I'm going to be your head coach, and then said, nah, I'm staying in New England, they went and reached for our offensive coordinator, who was the brains, as we come to find out, between him and Doug Peterson.
He goes Carson looking sharp on Sunday, too.
Absolutely. Now, Carson was still holding on to the ball too long, which led to him getting sacked. And that sense of urgency is what we missed when now we got Jalen Hurts, who's squirmy as ever. Now, I believe a little bit of that is PTSD, as in, Philly traumatic stress syndrome from, us having a bad organization and a bad,
But if you watch the way the offense works, it's better with a mobile quarterback, with somebody who can move out of the pocket when there's pressure, because he's got the wide receivers that got speed to get downfield and get open, and it worked for him. Me personally, that's the kind of quarterback I like, though. I like the quarterback that moves. I don't like pocket passes.
I do too, but you got to remember when he was moving. You got to remember though, when he was moving, he got injured, and so I believe that to prevent him to try to prevent injury, they tried to tell him get bigger, stay in the pocket, and because of that, when the pressure came and where he used to be able to evade, he now cannot evade, and he's now getting touched, and now he's getting hurt doing what they said, and now their problem is you too big, you ain't moving fast enough. And he's like, dude, you made me add weight on so I don't get hit. The weight difference between his sophomore year and his rookie year were very different. He wasn't as fast. He wasn't moving as quickly. He looked sluggish. Now, I believe a part of that may be, like I said, PTSD, that, you know, that hit, those injuries are something that stick with you over time. Yeah. But since we talking about us, Keys, hold on. I gotta get hyped. Since we talking about us, how about that win over the Falcons that we were supposed to lose allegedly? I'm gonna let Keys get his talk in. I'm gonna let Keys get his words in.
All right, so I'm gonna put my Eagles hat on first and say it was an amazing win. We look great. I like the way the offense looked. The defense looked like it was great. On the Atlanta side, it was Matt Ryan looked good. The receivers looked bad. They were dropping a lot of passes. And I'm even watching the game at the crib, and I'm like, yo, they not helping Matt at all. Like, this one wasn't on Matt. This was on the receivers. Calvin Ridley wide open, dropping the ball. Even what's the tight end they drafted?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts was dropping some. The running back, he's dropping passes. So a lot of that would have helped them. Maybe, you know, score a little more. Game would have been closer. But it made us look like we were great, and we were. I do want to see our offense next week against a 49ers team that's better. Week 2 is going to tell me a lot more about our team than week 1 did, in my opinion. But we still 1-0 going into week 2, so I'm good with that.
Cap. I'll go. You know what I'm saying? He had to step away for a second. You know what? It wasn't their wide receivers to me that was the worry. It was the offensive line to me. You know how many penalties that they got for holding? We can talk about the fact that they had no plays, that their longest play was 18 yards. How many times were they third and 15 plus? Second, 15 plus. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to have to tighten that up if they're going to have a chance with anybody. But every time I saw our defense out there, and in the back of my mind, you know what I heard every time that I saw us on defense? That's straight, bitch. It got real personal. You know, we were having our way. Early in the game, I believe we were a bit rusty. Because, you know, first game of the season, a lot of those guys did not play in the preseason because we had a lot of backups playing, which was expected with us having one less preseason game and one more regular season game. But we still don't. McLeod isn't playing yet. Davion Taylor is not playing yet. This is not our starting defense. This is scary. We just reworked Fletcher Cox's contract. We got $11 million right now in the cap. If someone hits the free agency wire, that's straight, bitch. It's gonna get spooky. I'm just saying. It's gonna get spooky. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was apropos that you played the clip from Fall from Grace, because that's really what Matt Ryan looked like on Sunday. It was pedestrian at best.
Okay.
They should have won this game. They should have won this game. I'm going to be objective for the next 90 seconds. Count me. So, Jalen Hurts was everything that I said he was going to be. Jalen Hurts is the real deal. And I said this. I said, I hate this for Carson Wentz because this man is built to take your job because he's a winner.
It was good then, and it's sure in hell still good now.
You can't teach what Jalen Hurts can do. You can't teach it.
Facts.
Nick Sirianni might be the guy for him. Doug Peterson wasn't. And it's okay to admit that. This man has more 300-yard passing games than last year's NFL MVP, the previous year's MVP in Lamar Jackson. I did want to make sure we touch on Lamar Jackson as well, because that's
we're gonna get to that. Yeah,
that's problematic. And 300-yard games are nothing to sneeze at. Did I still expect, even though I know what Jalen Hurts to do, for them to win this game? No, because a guy that has a weapon in Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts should not only muster 6 points. It's unacceptable in any shape, form, or fashion. The Philadelphia Eagles absolutely had their way. Will the good times roll in week 2? That remains to be seen.
Absolutely.
But Jalen Hurts is the real deal.
I'll fill that in for you, Cap.
For my Q brothers, your boy was simply stellar, and like I said, I don't know. We'll see, but I think that again, he is the real deal. He has that synchrony and synergy with Devonta Smith. So it's only a matter of time before they're together lighting up the league and, pissing the rest of the NFC East off. So we'll see. But I think that it was very good Eagles, very bad Falcons ultimately. And yes, this Matt Ryan's fall from grace. It's over.
As for Matty Ice,
Can't have you hanging with you, boy.
You gotta stop hanging with Choose, boy.
Oh, he's definitely fitting to be hanging with Choose, boy. Swimming. He'll be swimming.
You've been hanging out in that club too much with Choose, boy.
he needs to leave Strokers on Lean alone. He's got to leave Onyx alone. He's got to stay out of the Atlanta clubs because it's
ice is melting.
Matty dishwater. And he's dishwater right now. Matty hot dog water. He's not ice no more. He's
yikes.
He is drag on right now. He's the opposite of H2O. He is
my guy got bean juice. Yo, so
I have more shots in the arsenal.
Trash can water, man.
While it's fresh on our minds, though. While it's fresh on our minds, though, I think Monday night was probably one of the best Monday Night Football openers that I've seen in the years. Down to the wire, clumsy, but rough, ugly, and pretty at the same time. I can't even say great coaching because the players were fucking up so much. I don't even know if the game plan was even in motion.
I think it was.
Gruden said that he was
poorly executed.
Gruden had the perfect analogy. He said, I was like a cat. I died. I came back to life. I died again and came back to life. I had like 9 lives. I can't imagine being my man Jay Croft watching this game.
I wish Gruden had shut the hell
up. Let
up.
alone being a Ravens fan watching this game. I've been in those games. Miracle in the Meadowlands. Cap, let me talk to you for a second. Miracle in the Meadowlands with Deshaun Jackson. I know you thought you had that game. you were celebrating as the punt got kicked. And I'm like, yo, there's a chance. We always want to believe there's a chance.
I'll give you that moment in a capsule. No, I wasn't. I was in the break room at Walmart. I'll never forget it. And I said, I yelled, and I said,
Bullshit.
Matt Dodge. And I said, this is not going to end well as soon as it bobbled. I said, this son of a bitch is going to bring it back, isn't he? And people in the break room assured me he was not. I said, you don't know them like I do. Touchdown. I said, fuck Matt Dodge. I don't want to take away from what we were talking about, but go ahead. You got me started.
But see, my thing is this. See how you knew, but at the same time, you still had in the back of your mind. It's like
one tackle and it's over.
Maybe we just going. It's like that one girl that you just know that you probably could, but she's saying no. But what if I bought her flowers or took her to the movies?
Gave the bitch tacos, bitches.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that last kid who don't believe in not trick or treating.
Or Casamigos. They always ask Casamigos too. They like that shit too.
But whatever those young kids like, but I get it. But at the same time, Lamar Jackson, I think he needed this because it's a proven fact that your legs can't get you everywhere. At some point, I believe he used his arm, but I believe if he relied on it maybe just a little bit more, he would be more of a threat.
Here's where we have to start telling the truth. He's limited.
That's right.
He's limited. If I was a wide receiver, I'd be pissed off and having to go to practice with him. Hollywood Brown should be a 1,500-yard wide receiver every year.
I'm a fan of his.
Hollywood Brown is talented. If anything else, if there's nothing else that I can describe Marquise Hollywood Brown, it's talented. And
can you imagine what he would do on a team like the Chargers or the Patriots?
He had 6
All-Pro
he
every
had
year.
six catches for 69 yards. Sammy Watkins had 4 for 96. Let's talk about Sammy. Sammy looked good. I was happy for Sammy, though.
Sammy's a good third option. That's why he looked good.
Absolutely.
He needs to be the third option everywhere he goes. Kansas City, he won a championship. But all them years toiling in Buffalo, spending more time in the trainer's room than he did on the field, Sammy's back now. Sammy's in that role that he needs to be in.
Yeah, that's true.
But people go places just for money moves. That's what Le'Veon did with the Jets. We all know that.
But I mean, he also was sitting at home. So it was
and not to mention that with Le'Veon, he lost money.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. Le'Veon lost money. He won. He got some money, but he didn't get his value.
What you're forgetting is you're saying that he lost money, but the Steelers were going to cut him in anyway. So it was either don't get paid or take what you can get.
And it boils down to the Dennis Schroeder argument. It's one and the same. He took what he got. It said that he got a little bit more and then looked awful. Where Dennis Schroeder at the same time betted on himself. Him and Nerlens Noel.
Something beats nothing 100% of the time. And I think anybody can know that if you get labeled with locker room problem stigma,
right,
you're not going to get the money that you're going to be owed. Any sport, basketball or football, boxing or bowling. Like if you're a problem child.
What about D'Lo? When he left the Lakers at first?
They labeled him a snitch.
And he didn't got his money, but
did he change the stigma? Is he still looked at as the snitch?
Yeah,
Is he really? He's a little bit more well respected in other locker rooms than he was in LA's. It was a toxic.
It
was a toxic environment, and that's different.
And
Le'Veon
toxicity, and at this point,
I honestly don't think Le'Veon was a real problem. Le'Veon just pissed off the wrong people, and there's a difference between that and being a problem. What Le'Veon was doing as far as making rap albums and all that other stuff, no. Le'Veon's not a real problem. He's just pissing off the wrong people. You can't piss off the wrong people then we're having a different conversation.
Look at Antonio Brown. I firmly believe that if Tom Brady did not want him, he would not be in the NFL right now.
Nah, nobody was touching him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I believe that
his on-field work has been shown. Like he's showing, like y'all should have called me.
Either way, I tell you this: Derek Carr looks good. He looks better than I thought he would be. Than I thought he would. He looks hungry again, which is good.
I think he knows his job is on the line.
It doesn't matter because I think once he leaves Las Vegas that he's going to be a better quarterback anyway, wherever he goes, because I think he's just been in Las Vegas too long. I just think he's been. See, I had a conversation with somebody about this yesterday, and I think Cap will have an interesting thing to say about this as well, just because I feel like I know how he thinks to a degree. I firmly believe that there are such cases as quarterbacks being in a location too long. I believe that Tannehill was in with the Dolphins too long. I believe that Randall Cunningham was with Philly too long. I believe that, what's another good example? I believe that Kurt Warner was with the Rams too long. I believe that Carson Palmer was with the Bengals too long. I believe that,
you're not supposed to want to finish your career with one team anymore?
See, the difference is this. You can. There are people who do it, but that's not the same circumstance for everybody. At what point do you outgrow the system? Because the thing is this, regardless of where you're at, the system is forever changing. There will always be different coaches. There will always be different wide receivers. There will always be different running backs. Always be, some cases, different owners. There's always going to be changing pieces around you. So is it really going to be the same team, or are y'all just wearing the same colors? In Carson Wentz's case, I don't believe he outstayed his welcome. I believe the circumstances didn't benefit him, and he went to a place where the circumstances would be more favorable.
Everybody, you got to remember, when you get drafted, to be completely honest, right? You're not going to the most ideal situation sometimes, even with, and this is with any sport, you're not always going to the most ideal or best situation for you. You're going to the worst, whoever was the worst team at that, especially if you're in the top 20 picks, 15 sometimes, you're going to, especially the top 10, you're going to the worst teams that year before. Whether it was, now you could have a team like the Warriors and they're a great team, they just were injured. It wasn't that they sucked. It wasn't like they had their best players and their best players were ass. They were just injury ridden, and you just lucked up and went to a Warriors team.
I think basketball is different. I think basketball is a different circumstance from football when it comes to loyalty and legacy. I really do. I feel like it is, because I feel like with basketball, you have a little bit more of a say. Football is not really that much of a, you as a player, you really don't have that much of a say. And for those who say that, oh yeah, you do, what about Aaron Rodgers? You really think he wants to play for Green Bay, especially after the garbage he put up this week?
Aaron had the choice that Aaron could have sat out. Aaron didn't have to play. Aaron signed a new contract, came back. You could tell in the second half that he didn't care. That second half, he didn't care. He didn't care at all. And then you could, right before they put Jordan Love in, you could see it in his face. He was like, I will. I don't think he put Jordan Love in.
My thing is this. Aaron Rodgers does not want to be there. And he doesn't have a say on where he goes, because at the end of the day, the NFL is a business. In the words of my guy, hold on, what did he say?
Let me be clear with you. You don't play around with the NFL. It's their America.
Exactly. So you over here trying to call shots. you can only do but so much being the quarterback because you're replaceable. And if you don't believe me,
that's why they put Jordan Love in though, because now it's like, all right, let's see what we got with him. Let's see what he can do. And he looked good. I ain't gonna lie. He didn't look bad to me. He looked comfortable.
Because he's hungry. He wants to play. Of course you're gonna look good if you want to be there compared to a nigga who don't want to be there. At no point did Aaron Rodgers look interested in seeing the Green Bay Packers succeed. And at that point, he's sending a message. My bad. I'm gonna let you get your piece in right after I say this.
You good?
And you know, at the end of the day, he's sending a message to the organization. You can force me to be here, but you can't force me to play for you. I can fuck this whole shit up. You can bench me and bring in whoever the fuck you want, or you can get rid of me and bring in somebody who wants to do the job well. But I don't want to be here. Is the kid not making up his bed or taking out the trash?
I forgot I was muted. Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true.
We're waiting for my man Cap to hop back in. He had to step out for a second. Hold on, my man Matthew was in here in the building. Let's see what he's saying. He said Aaron Rodgers is pulling a James Harden. Exactly. I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
He's definitely pulling a James Harden. I mean, look at what he did when he was with the Rockets, and that's what you're going to get with Aaron Rodgers this year. It's him pouting his lips, saying that he doesn't want to go out there and work. On the other hand, you got Jameis Winston out there looking like a superstar.
Boy, didn't he?
Superstar.
I'm gonna tell you what the problem was though. The man barely had 100 yards. That last touchdown pass, that long one to number 11, if it weren't for that pass, he would have been under 100 yards for the whole game.
See, the thing is this. Here's the key. Jameis Winston.
That still wasn't impressive to me though. Even though
here's the thing.
Touchdowns were within 5 yards.
See, here's the thing.
He was 14 for 20, 148 yards. And the only reason he got to 148 was that last pass to Deontay Harris.
How many interceptions did he have?
He had none.
Great start. Because what was he known for before this? What was his stigma?
No.
What was he known for in Tampa Bay?
Hold on. I'm a huge person that will say the interceptions weren't on him. And don't tell me, oh, well, Tom ain't throw that many. Yes, he did. Tom was throwing interceptions.
See, you're missing the point. You're missing the point.
You don't throw for that many yards, though. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, he threw interceptions. The nigga threw for 5,000 yards.
See, you're missing the point.
5,000.
The thing is this. He's working on changing the narrative right now. Everything else is going to come. Everything else is going to come. Because my thing is this. If you take away the interceptions, his last season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was a great season. Hell of a season.
It was.
But people look at him and know him for his turnover ratio. That's the story of Jameis Winston, right? So I believe him going is it Sean Garrett? Not Sean Garrett. That's not the coach of the Saints. Hold on.
Sean Payton.
Whoop. Sean Payton. Bam. So him going to Sean Payton, who at this point is looked at as somewhat of a quarterback guru. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. Boom. Who's looked at as a quarterback guru of sorts. I believe that he's changing the narrative to make it look like, hey, it wasn't me, it was my location. It was the people around me. I'm a better quarterback than what they give me credit for. Which I think is going to be interesting, seeing how he develops with the Saints moving forward. I believe if the Saints go over 500, the Jameis Winston experiment was a success. And I say that because I don't think that people are expecting much of him anyway. And in a division that you have to beat Tom Brady to go to the playoffs, most people are counting you down 2 games in the season off jump. So I think you get over 500. I believe that puts you in the murmurs of the wild card talks because the rest of the games are miscellaneous. And you go from there. That's my personal take on the Jameis Winston experiment. And
I mean, they could
in Green Bay,
they can definitely still make the wild card just because they're going to be the second best team in that division. I have no faith in Atlanta or Carolina, even though Carolina looked really good with Sam Darnold. They really did. They look real good with Sam Darnold, but going through the whole season, I don't have them finishing. I got them finishing third. I got Atlanta actually finishing last in the division.
Word. I got some questions here. I'm glad that he popped back in for this. My guy, we was just talking about Green Bay and hold on. Go back to it. Green Bay and
the Saints.
Saints. We just talked about. And Jameis Winston. But did the 49ers look good or did the Lions just look bad?
A little bit of no, because that first pass from Garoppolo was an interception. So I'm gonna say the Lions just looked that bad.
And they shouldn't have come back. That's the detriment of it all. And of course, because of that, San Fran messed up the cover, and they weren't able to cover for the weekend. But they shouldn't have come back. I don't think Goff is the problem in Detroit. They just don't have talent. That's just what
it's just Detroit. The problem with Detroit.
Yeah, they don't have talent. They're not gonna find it anytime soon. They just lost Okuda as well, so they're just not good. That's just the long and short of it.
I don't believe that they're motivated to win. I don't think it's that they're not good. Because my thing is when I look at the games, I see people get separation. I see people run good routes, but there's no effort to make plays. There's so many times I saw the ball getting thrown and receivers being away from their mark. The ball's hitting the turf. People, you got to jump to go and catch the ball. And I don't blame that necessarily on Jared Goff being a bad quarterback because we saw him have great seasons with Los Angeles, right? But I think overall, because Matt Patricia's not their coach anymore, right? Patricia got fired, right?
It's Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan.
So it's his first year there, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah. So first year coach with some people half-assing. I'm not expecting much of a show.
I think they want to rebuild, and that's okay.
They absolutely want to rebuild. But I think this is the season they get the draft pick to do it because you got the quarterback now. You put the money out there. You're not gonna. Nope. It's a destination nobody wants to go to. Let's face it. I don't think they have many pieces that people want. Think about it. They just had a clearance sale. At this point, Kerryon Johnson's being passed around, like the neighborhood pocket pussy.
Basically, cheap blunt. That's all he is. He's being passed around like Reggie, and that's.
I'm not gonna lie. TJ Hawkinson is probably their best offensive player outside of Jamal Williams.
I mean, it's really DeAndre Swift, but
DeAndre Swift too.
He's their most skilled, and Hawkinson is just the best. The better.
Either
player.
They have the cap to trade their picks for players to win now, or they lose, get the picks, make the picks, and bet on the talent. And I don't know their organization enough to answer that. I can tell you what the Eagles would do. But at this point, I don't know I don't know their destination or their tally. I just know that the Lions looked really bad, and the 49ers aren't a laughing matter. So, to me, their game would be the equivalent of what game was it that I saw? Hold on, where's it at? Bam, 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 bam. Their game to me is the equivalent of what we saw with the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. That's the one that I felt like it was comparable to, because Tampa Bay made a whole bunch of mistakes and Dallas found a way to lose the game. Whereas in this scenario, the Lions made a whole bunch of mistakes, but they didn't want to win the game. So they didn't make the game competitive enough to even give themselves a chance. And San Francisco wanted the game. If Dallas made the mistakes that Tampa Bay made, they would look like the Lions. So, I mean, I think Tampa Bay is a good team. I do not believe they're going to beat us next week. Nothing I saw showed me that they can handle. Nothing I saw showed me that they can handle our defensive line. One, and our receivers are much more responsible than Detroit. So I believe we're going to be route running like crazy. That's just my take as far as the 49ers and the Lions. Did you have any other takes on that, Keys? I see Cap fell out again. He probably going to jump back in here in a few.
Nah, not from that one. Trey Lance only didn't get in, but for so long, one pass. He had that one pass for 5 yards for a touchdown. So, I feel like as the season goes on, he's gonna start playing more and more. And Garoppolo didn't look bad though. 17 for 25, 314 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. So
Garoppolo looked like Garoppolo.
Yeah, I mean, most of the touchdowns were defensive. Well, no, not defense. They had 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 defensive touchdown. So they didn't look bad. They didn't look bad at all. Overall, they played a good game. I mean, like I said, I'm interested in more of what we're going to do next week against them than what they're going to do against us. I feel like that they're a better team than Atlanta. So that's more of a measuring stick for me as a fan. Like, okay, let's see how we look against a little better team now.
Well, before we get on to next week's predictions, let's talk about our number 1 draft pick from the NFL draft. My man Trevor Lawrence out there in Jacksonville playing the Houston Texans in a loss that resulted in them losing 37-21 to Tyrod Taylor and the Houston Texans.
My man Ty.
I'm going to take the lead on this one. I was very impressed with this display that was put on by these guys. I think that first off, let me just pull up some stats real quick because I ain't even got no numbers pulled up. I'm just kind of going based off of what we discussed earlier. I want to make sure.
Here we go. All right, so I'll start with the Texans. Like I said, Tyrod didn't look bad, man. 21 for 33, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mark Ingram, who's with the Texans now, looked good. 26 carries for 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Philip Lindsay, who's also with them. I actually like Lindsay when he was with the Broncos.
Lindsay's with the Texans now? That's not a bad look. It's not a bad look.
Yeah. Receiving wise, they have some good receivers. Brandon Cooks was cooking. 5 catches for 132 yards. Danny Amendola's with them, 5 for 34. Chris Conley, Rex Burkhead. They also got Farrell Brown, had 4 for 67. And then defensively, they look good too. A lot of interceptions, no defensive touchdowns or anything, but yeah, they look good. They look good. And on the Jag side of things, to be honest, even with the interceptions, Trevor Lawrence, to me, number-wise, was still great. 28 for 51, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Carlos Hyde, 9 carries for 44 yards. Receiving-wise, not a bad day. DJ Chark had 3 catches for 86. Marvin Jones, 5 for 77. And Laviska Shenault, 7 for 50. And James O'Shaughnessy had 6 for 48. So again, defensively, that's where the problem really came in. No interceptions, no pressure. Tyrod just looked like the man he's. I mean, and we talked about it.
Yeah, man, that's what I wanted to get on, man. Tyrod looked like post-prime Vic. The old man Vic who still had a little bit of spring in his step when he needed it.
But Tyrod had that with the Browns. He had that with the Chargers.
But he didn't.
Like I told you.
Nah, see, that's the difference. That's the difference, though. When he was with the Browns, I felt like even though we knew he was going to lose his job to Baker Mayfield, he handed the job to Baker Mayfield. Dropping snaps, just out there looking crazy, holding on to the ball too long, looking worse than Carson Wentz when he does it. And this is before Carson was doing the whole holding on to the ball thing. I personally just feel like he came into a good situation. Even when the line broke down, he found a way to pick himself up and put himself in positions to extend the play. And that's the Tyrod Taylor that I haven't seen since he was with the Baltimore Ravens backing up Joe Flacco. So I feel like if he can keep up that level of play, he's got good receivers. Let's face it, the Browns weren't really hot before Odell Beckham got there. They were good, but now their offense is something to be reckoned with, right? So he's in a situation that's doing that. He's got, a running back. Their defense is even though the defense is suspect, I believe it's good enough to compete. And in the right situation, they can take a game. My opinion, I think that they're good enough to beat the Cleveland Browns.
Is that who they have next week?
Yeah, they play Cleveland, and I'm not really putting my faith so much in Tyrod Taylor's ability to throw a 300-yard game from 4 touchdowns. I ain't expecting all of that. However, I am expecting them to play the Browns tough, even though the Browns are going to try to make up for their loss from week 1, coming off of this huge win for the Texans when they were slugging it out with the Jaguars. Because, I mean, they scored, close to 40 points. That's a high-scoring game. You know what I'm saying? And, Tyrod Taylor might be the black, Fitzpatrick. So, you know what I'm saying? He might be out there catching a groove right now. I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying they going, I'm not saying they going 14-3 or nothing. Nah, I ain't saying all of that. I'm just saying that he looks good. I see him having, right under 500 for the season at minimum. On the high, maybe like 10 games at most.
Let me see who they got this season. Their first couple games is tough though. Jaguars was this weekend, which was a win. Browns next week, then the Panthers, after that, it kind of gets tough where you got the Bills, Patriots, Colts, Cardinals, and Rams. Then you go into Dolphins, Titans, Jets, Seahawks, Colts, Jags, Chargers, Titans, 49ers. So, I can see the 500, but I can also, a lot of these is some L's, to be honest with you. I see them being under 5.
Yeah.
They might win 5. I might got a winning 5.
Man, who knows?
They'll probably beat the Jags again. They'll probably beat the Jets. That's 3.
Hey, they could possibly beat the Patriots, bro. Because even though Mac Jones is nice, they lost to the Dolphins.
And I'll even give you the Patriots one. I'll give you the Patriots one.
They could beat Carson Wentz and the Colts.
No, I don't see that. I got them at 6.
Okay.
I got them at 6 wins. I definitely got them at 6 wins.
I don't got them winning Arizona or the Rams.
Nope.
They could beat Miami.
Yep. I got them beating Miami and the Jets.
I don't got them. They losing to Tennessee. They could beat the Jets. I don't think they beaten the Colts twice. I don't see that. I don't see them losing. No, it's gonna be split. Seahawks are gonna beat them. Jacksonville is going to. I think they can beat the Jags again.
I don't know. By that point in the season, though, Trevor might have actually. I think
he could be cooking.
I think they'll split with the Jags. So if they split with the Jags, that's 5 wins on my end.
He could be cooking. Let me see something. Hold on. San Francisco is going to be a loss, and Tennessee, I don't see them being Tennessee. But yeah,
not twice.
Not at all. I was waiting for my guy to get back on here so we could talk about some of these other games, but I want to kind of move it forward. And if he jumps in, we're going to get his piece in. Let's talk about the Seahawks and Colts game. Russell Wilson looks great. He was one of the quarterbacks who put on a show next to Jalen Hurts. I would say Mac Jones as well, even though he lost, he looked pretty good.
Yeah,
but did Carson Wentz look any better than he did last year?
I mean, numbers wise, he looked the same. 25 for 38, 251, 2 touchdowns. It's pretty normal to me. I mean,
so in your mind,
nothing wrong.
Okay.
In my opinion,
it was good then, and it's sure in hell still good now.
I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad. I like what I saw. I believe that he looked poised. Like I said earlier, still holding on to the ball too long. I believe that that's something that followed him coming from Philly. I believe that instead of standing up throwing the ball in the face of the hit, he kind of closes up naturally. Almost like if you've ever been in a car accident before and you're driving again after the car accident, certain things are going to make you timid. You know what I'm saying? I believe the Colts are in a good place. I believe that they can do well.
I think
very much in a rebuild still.
Wentz is the replacement they were looking for after after Luck. Yeah. I like him for their team, though. That's why I was glad we traded him there, because I still want to see him do good. I don't want him to – he didn't treat us wrong or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So it ain't like it's fuck Wentz, you know. There's some people that leave us and it's fuck them, but not with him.
Yeah, it's not gonna be to that degree. I ain't gonna say all that. I do disagree with how we built around him, but that said, you know, I can't speak for him and what the situation was when he was with Philly as far as what happened behind closed doors. But I know from the outside looking in, there was wrongdoing on both sides. I felt like he could have used an opportunity to try to build around the team that he had and be a better receiver, and he didn't. And I feel like the organization could have built around him to give him more to work with, and they didn't. So, you know, you get paid to make the plays. He didn't make them. They got him out of there. They wanted to rebuild. It is what it is. Seeing him in that uniform didn't look strange. It looked slightly weird and comfortable, like he was supposed to be in that jersey. I only say that because he didn't look like he was awkward. You know what I'm saying? He looked well rounded in the system. I believe there are moments where the offensive line did collapse on him, and Indy is going to have to get that together. That's how you lost one franchise quarterback. Please don't lose another one, especially if he's already busted up and known to be fragile. We need him to play for that pick, whether y'all win, lose, or draw. But like I said, Seahawks look good. Russell Wilson's on his same usual stretch, laughing his way to the bank, possibly going to the playoffs. I think it's going to be a good little stretch. For once, he's doing good in the first half of the season. I only say that because if you ever play fantasy and pick him, he usually does not do phenomenal in the first part of the season. You got anything to say about the Hawks before I move forward on those guys?
Okay. No. None on the Seahawks. They look normal. They look normal. It won't too much that was spectacular. It looked like they're gonna walk their way into the playoffs like every year.
Quarter mill's always good.
Yeah, I feel you. That's how I feel about him. Let's take it back to let's take it back home, Keys. Let's bring it back home for a second. How about the East? How about those footballers and how they look? They don't look like they're in too good a shape right now. They lost a quarterback, and the Chargers look like the Chargers.
I mean, it was still a close game, 20-16. They only lost by 4. They did lose a quarterback, but Taylor Heineke came in and looked good. I still don't think he's
oddly familiar to the postseason. Oddly familiar to the postseason for me.
Right. But I still don't think he's the answer for them, man. I'm not a Washington fan, so I can't talk for them. I'm just, as a football fan looking and watching them, I don't think he's the answer, but he might be. He honestly might be.
And in it comes RG3.
He said, call me, baby.
I'm only one call away. Word to Chingy. Word to Chingy. I'm only one call away. Nah, but seriously, call Cam. Give Cam a call. Get him in. Get him in.
I gotta look at their depth chart.
Get him and Rivera back together. Put the band back together.
If I'm Washington, and again, I gotta look at their depth chart to see who they have. I'm calling Cam and I'm calling RG3. To be honest, I'm bringing them both in.
Nah, I believe Cam is all you need with Heineke behind them because they've got other problems that they got to worry about. Quarterback is not their only problem.
Well, you forgot behind Heineke. They also, I don't know if he's hurt. They also got Kyle Allen. Remember Rivera really liked Kyle Allen. Remember when Kyle came in for Cam when Cam got hurt. So
Like who they want. If he liked them that much, he'd be starting, and he's not.
I want to say he's hurt though. To be honest, I think that's why, and that's why I said I would bring both of them in, because if Fitzpatrick is done for the season, that's who you got. You got Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke. I would.
Either way, they're gonna have to make a move.
Yeah, they're gonna have to bring in another quarterback.
At the
same time, they could, if they really believe in Heineke, they could rock with 2 quarterbacks on the depth chart for right now.
At this rate, they're 0-2.
Yeah, I got the Giants beating them tomorrow night. I definitely got the Giants beating them tomorrow night.
At this rate, they're 0-2. Man, I don't really got much to say about them. Chargers look good. Chargers look like they're doing the thing. Hibbert looks like Hibbert. I believe that they're going to be somewhere in the middle of the pack. I don't see them going super far, but they could definitely be a wild card contender, in my opinion. I don't know their schedule, but just based on how they're playing, it's a team that can beat anybody on a good night. They can also lose. So, like I said, I feel like they can fall in the middle of the pack. I didn't see nothing phenomenal. Speaking of Daniel Jones and those would-be Giants, we tried to wait for my man Cap. He had to bow out gracefully, but we're still going to talk about him, and we're going to show him some respect because, as you know, Daniel Jones been hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Have you hanging with Choose Boy?
He's been hanging with Choose Boy.
And
yeah, man, he been hanging out with Choose Boy, man, and he didn't look terrible, but he didn't look good either. And I think finally, Giants fans across the globe can, all agree, you know what I'm saying, across all facets of football, that Daniel Jones is not the answer. The Daniel Jones experiment has blown up in your face. You've got egg in your face. You need to wipe it off.
Let's look at the numbers, though. Let's look at the numbers. 22 for 37, 267, 1 touchdown, no interceptions.
You heard me say he didn't look bad, but he didn't look good either.
Sterling Sharp, 7 receptions.
What game are you winning where you only score 1 touchdown? Unless you're playing the Green Bay Packers or the Atlanta Falcons, who did you beat this week with 1 touchdown?
Scored 2. Daniel Jones actually had a rushing touchdown. That was their problem. No. That
was a gimme at the last second of the game. Everybody was going home. I'm not counting that. I'm not counting pity points.
When you're looking at the breakdown of the stats and watching the game, that actually was their issue, was the running game was the problem. Saquon Barkley, 10 carries for 26 yards.
He's not the same Saquon he used to be.
Daniel Jones actually was their leading rusher by 1 yard. He had 6 carries for 27.
One of those carries came. How much was that? Matter of fact, how much was that carry on the last play of the game when he ran it in for the touchdown? I want to say it was at least 10 yards.
Might have been. Yeah, it might have been.
At minimum, it was 10 yards. And they gave that up because they were ready to go home. They were already roasted.
Let's talk about the other side, though. Let's talk about Teddy B. Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, my man Teddy was out there looking good. He was back to having fun. His story is an amazing story in football, I believe, because I feel like I feel like Teddy Bridgewater needs his flowers because after he got abandoned by Minnesota, yes, I say abandoned because they held him down long enough to pay his medical bills and let him go. They didn't want to see the experiment fall through. He got handed around. Wore a lot of jerseys.
Carolina was a good situation for him. I won't mad at that.
I felt like it was gonna work out for him, but they had other
I thought
plans.
I thought the Saints actually was going to be the spot for him, and then
That looked
Carolina
good,
gave
too.
him the money. Carolina
Yeah, that looks
offered
good
him money.
too. But you got to get your pockets straight before you can do anything else. He laced his pockets, landed in a good spot, and balls out. You know what I'm saying? Uncontrollably.
Is Jerry Jeudy done for the season?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I hope not. I know he got hurt, so I can't.
I hope not either. But were there any other games that you wanted to talk about in particular that you were fond of?
For week one, no, not for real. Nothing else really stood out in week one. I'm looking.
I feel like we covered everything. Let's see. Cardinals look like the Cardinals. I really didn't have anything to say about the Bears and the Rams. That was pretty much predictable.
Jets and Panthers was a toss-up. I really didn't know who was going to win that.
I'm not impressed. The Jets should have lost by a larger margin because I just feel like the Jets are trash. They've never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles in the franchise history. So they have no way to measure up to us. So I'm not going to acknowledge them as being competition.
It was actually a very good game. I did get to peep that. That was a good one. And Dolphins and Patriots. Dolphins and Patriots I was at Hooters that whole game, right? And it was funny because the dude who was behind us was a Dolphins fan. The guy and his son to the table to the left of us was a Patriots fan. So just watching their interaction the whole game, and they both were equally pissed. So it was funny to me, watching them, like they were just talking to each other. You wouldn't have thought they were on the same team, like the way they were talking to each other and everything. So, but yeah, I
got a question.
Two of them didn't look good. Neither did Mac Jones.
Mac Jones looked good to me for a rookie. He made some good throws. Well, he made a couple throws getting hit, falling down, all that shit, which were pretty good for a rookie in the NFL.
Tua had some good runs too. He definitely was managing the game. I'll say that.
All right, let me ask you this: how do you feel about Sam Darnold being in Carolina?
I like it. I think that was an ideal landing spot for him. Leaving the Jets. Outside of maybe the Dolphins or Washington, that's probably the one team I would have sent them to was the Panthers. Moving on from Teddy, they needed a replacement, and I think he's a great fit. Is he the long-term answer? Yeah, I think so. I honestly think so. I don't think him going to New York was the best situation. I'm a USC Trojan fan, but we don't have the best quarterbacks all the time, man. We really don't, and it hurts me to say that. A lot of our quarterbacks do not pan out well in the league, and Sam Darnold was one of those I was rooting for. I want him to win. Maybe not a Super Bowl, but I want him to have a great career at least. So
I want him to be successful. I think that he's not bad. He's not good either. He's one of those middle-range quarterbacks. To me, he's what Tannehill was when he was on the Dolphins. He has potential. Maybe in the right system, he can do something. But right now, he's just Sam Darnold.
The Panthers still got to put pieces around him. Let me go back to their stats. Yeah, they still got to put pieces around him. I mean, he's got Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. Two of the best running backs in the league, in my personal opinion. And then receiving wise, that's where the issue is going to come in my opinion. Again, you still got DJ Moore. DJ Moore had six receptions for 80 yards. Christian McCaffrey had 9 for 89. Roby Anderson had 1 for 57. After that, nobody really had catches. Terrence Marshall, 3 catches. Ian Thomas, 1. Dan Arnold, 2, and Chuba Hubbard, 2 for 4. My thing is, you gotta offensively, they have to go out and either draft receivers or you need to throw big money at some receivers to get them to come there. Get them to buy into what y'all are doing, or hope that you're going to catch a receiver that's like, shit, I ain't doing none of those. Let me go to Carolina for 3 years and get this money real quick. Then I can go somewhere else.
That's what I think it is. I think it's a stepping stone. I don't think that he's going to stay there for them to build around him. I don't believe that they believe in him like that, but they just need a quarterback for now.
Yeah.
That's just me. But
Zach Wilson also didn't bad. 20 for 37, 258, 2 touchdowns, one interception. He's really not throwing to nobody, to be honest. His best receiver.
Oh man, my guy about to tap back in, man. He gonna come back in here. But look, while we're here for a second, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and being here with us and doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? I know we was gone for a minute, but for us to be able to jump back in it and for people to still be active in the chat and just reaching out to us, we appreciate it. And you know, we're gonna try to keep this going while it's going. I know football season is here. Me and my man Keys is here as promised to try to make this thing work, pop it off. But I'll tell you this. All those quarterbacks did great this week, but in my opinion, none of them did better than Jalen Hurts, who's going to be playing the San Francisco 49ers next week. Right now, the Eagles are at the top of the NFC East, but people were calling the NFC least and counted us out of the division after we lost our quarterback in Carson Wentz and have a new head coach in my man Sirianni and a new defensive coordinator in JG, or is it John Gannon, I believe, or Jason Gannon? I believe it's John Gannon.
Yeah,
his defense looked phenomenal. I say that even with the first half mistakes, because when's the last time that the Philadelphia Eagles have been seen to make a second half adjustment and it work out for the benefit of the team, and we end up locking a team down where they didn't even score a touchdown a whole game. All critical things that I feel like played a heavy part in what we did on Sunday. I feel like we're going to come in and do the same thing. I feel like a lot of the rust is worn off. As I said earlier in the podcast, McLeod's not playing. Davion Taylor isn't playing. We got people coming into the defense to make it better. We now have the cap space to add to it. So come free agent time, we ain't going to be getting rid of. We're going to be adding to. We look like Philadelphia again. We look like the problem child that was coming out the East. That led to that 2017 season where we ended up getting that Lombardi. I'm not saying that that's what we are guaranteed. I'm putting my money on it because I'm an Eagles fan and I want us to go. I feel like we got the potential to do it.
And that's what I definitely see us. I see us winning the division personally.
Absolutely.
But I also, like I said earlier, us in Dallas, I don't see the Giants being anywhere close. Washington's not going to be anywhere close. It's really going to be a fight between us and Dallas.
Let me ask you this. You think Dallas can beat... You think Dallas's offense can compete with the defense that played on Sunday night?
Yeah, I do. I see us
with the dink and dunk. With the dink and dunk? Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here.
You gotta remember though, man. You play the toughest games are always divisional games. Always divisional games.
But guess what? They know Doug Peterson. They don't know Nick Sirianni.
No,
that's
JG. Fine. That's fine. I'm just being super honest. In my opinion,
I feel you.
We're gonna split the series with them, and it's gonna be a tough season.
Nah.
I
don't think we're going to split the series with them. Because at the end of the day, until Dak shows me that he can play at 100, what I mean by that is he can give them a deep ball when he needs a deep ball. Because that little dink and dunk worked against Tampa Bay and a soft backfield. But Steven Nelson and Darius Slay ain't soft. They ain't coming in, playing around. They not giving up no open routes. Avonte Maddox ain't giving up no open routes.
But
Fletcher
receivers,
Cox, Javon Hargraves.
Them Dallas receivers look great, man. I'm just as much as I hate Dallas, I gotta admit when they're looking good.
Yeah, they look
even
good.
In the loss,
I said they look good, but we look better.
They're looking good.
We look that much better though.
I'm gonna talk to you after Sunday because again, for me, I need to see us against a better offensive team. Atlanta wasn't, to me. Atlanta won't that.
When's the last time we beat Atlanta?
We ain't talking about the past. We're talking about now. This is a new team.
But my thing is this. Exactly. It's a new team. So my thing is this. It'd be different if it was a slugfest. If it was like 21-20, 23 to 20 to 18.
We were
if they're that bad.
Won a closer game.
No,
I would rather us won a closer game.
No, because my thing is this.
27-21. I personally
that goes against the logic. That goes against the logic. If the team is garbage, if their defense is garbage, and they're so bad, if we slugged it out with them, that would confirm all the negative things that they've been saying about not only Philly but Jalen Hurts, because we let a bad team keep up with us. We smoked their boots like we were supposed to.
And I get that, but in my opinion, I would have for me to be convinced that boom, going into week 2, because we blew out that Atlanta team. I don't know who you talk to, because everybody had us beating Atlanta. To be honest, not that bad.
No,
had us winning.
Vegas, everybody had us losing.
I don't know how.
You saw my parlay.
That's mostly because of Jalen and the unknowingness of Jalen. Now that they know, week 2 is going to be better as far as the odds, but the 49ers, to me, are a better team than Atlanta. They're a better team than Atlanta. So for me, I got to see how we do against a better team like the 49ers. I would have rather us won a close game because I would have been more confident going into week 2.
Sure. All I'll say is this. Let them keep sleeping. And we're going to keep creeping right up to the top of the division. I have no problems with my team right now. Everything can use work, but right now I like what we're doing. I feel like we're gelling into something good. Everybody's in a good place, including Zach Ertz, which is amazing.
Dallas Goedert look great.
I have no bad things to say. Like I said, other than that, games, my predictions, I believe the footballers will lose to the Giants. I believe that the Raiders will. I don't think the Raiders are going to win against the Steelers. That's just my prediction. I believe we will beat the 49ers. I believe Jameis Winston. You got the Browns. You said what?
I got Browns over Texans.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I got Broncos over Jags.
I'll take that.
I got Saints over Panthers. Rams over Colts. Bills over Dolphins.
Ooh.
Actually, no. I got Dolphins over Bills.
Chargers and Dallas. Who you got?
I hadn't even got down that far. Chargers.
I think Hibbert might have his way.
Yeah. I got Patriots over Jets. Bengals over Bears. Cardinals over Vikings. Bucks over Falcons. I actually have the Titans beating the Seahawks.
Packers over Lions for me.
Yeah, Chiefs over Ravens in a knockout. Not in a knockout, but in a. I think the Ravens figure it out this week. Chiefs also figure a couple things out, but that's going to be just like it was last season with them two. It's definitely going to be, close, high-scoring games. I don't see anybody dogging anybody in that game personally. And then, like you said, Packers over Lions in the Monday night game.
I really want to see this Cowboys and Chargers game.
What time do they play? They play 4. So they might be...
After
it depends on... Yeah. Well, hold on. What time? Yeah, more than likely we're going to be on TV because Washington has a Thursday game.
You're going to be on TV.
That was that was my worry last week was, this area is going to play Washington before anybody else. So,
man, you already know that shouldn't matter, dog. We're gonna get up after the broadcast and exchange info. I can help you out with that. But man, it's been good. It's been real, y'all. Again, we appreciate you. We back. Intro music. If you didn't hear it, is brought to you by Studio Vile. You can get them on Twitter at twitter.com/General Beats or Instagram.com/General Beats. GeneralBeats.com. Went on YouTube. Got that intro for those who did not hear the intro. I will play it again. Some pretty dope shit. I like it. Keys likes it. So I feel like it's only appropriate that we rock out to it.
Anything you need to plug?
You said what?
I said anything you need to plug this week?
I don't got too much going on this week. For those who going to be in the area out here in the 804 downtown, 25th is going to be a show going on. Private the Problem going to be down there with Big Matt Royal to be on, iTunes, Spotify. Killing it right now. Over 8,000 streams, getting it in, whoop-de-whoop. OnlyFans out there. The first single from it. Upcoming singles, Ultra Combo. We got a lot going on. Respect to my guys out there. Till then, man, we're going to try to keep this going. Again, shout out to the beat from General Beats out there on YouTube, General Beats, www.com, twitter.com/General Beats, or Instagram.com/General Beats.
Are you performing on the RVA Variety Series?
I am. I'm going to be on that RVA Variety Series out there. I appreciate you on the 25th. Gotta try to go out there and shut it down. My man Keith's gonna be out there as well for the Keys Bam 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 Bam. Club Talk Podcast gonna be out there live. Come out there, shake hands, greet with us, treat with us. Drop something in the cash app. We might make something shake on the microphone. No homo. Pause. But
wow. Oh, wow.
Hold on, I got something for that.
Pause.
There we go. Bam. But
Granddad.
Man, what you got for him, Keith?
Hey man. Not too much, man. iKicks, IKIICKZ. Follow me on IG. High End Supply. Follow me on IG. I'm gonna drop that in the comments, on the YouTube. But that's about it, man. I'm grinding, man. Laying low, get my health back together.
Word. Wow. Guys, we'll try to be bringing this back to you next time. This time next week as well, so that way we can not only catch the Sunday night games, but also the Monday night game. Give you a little preview of the Thursday night game, and then of course we're gonna do this all again next week. You already know we the Philly boys getting it in over here at Cloth Talk. Shout out to my man Cap, who couldn't make it into the end of the show, but he's holding down for the Giants. My man Jay Croft, who's a Ravens fan. My boy Dom, who's a 49ers fan. We love you, Dom, but we come up for that ass this week, boy. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise, man, feels good to be back. Till then, we're going to catch y'all, man. Go on.